Hi guys, it's Alexa here with KelownaNow.
Hey, it's Anita here from Wisdom, Wealth, Wellbeing.
Perfect. So we are here for another episode and we really want to talk about the three pillars of the three W's. So maybe let's start with wisdom. Why did we change the name and why did wisdom out of all the different names out there you could have chose? Why wisdom?
Well, for me, the events were always in the last 2 years leading up to the rebrand was always about creating that safe space to gain knowledge and wisdom on a personal level, on a professional level, even from a financial level. And so it just made perfect sense to start the brand with the wisdom piece because that's what the events are really about. It's about gaining knowledge in those aspects of life, mentally as well, physically, all the pieces that are encompassed to grow as an individual. Yeah.
So you kind of touched on it, but what do you think wisdom means to you?
Wisdom for me is an access point to grow as a human being in the realm of how I can evolve and elevate myself as a business professional, as a human being, how I show up on this planet, as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, really as an individual to, again, gain that knowledge, that almost like a passkey to opening up all these other aspects of life that will help me grow. And it was really important to have that in different areas, not always focusing on business. Business is a piece of it and business is important, but to evolve in business, you need to have bases, like a base foundation as a human being. Because if you're not showing up in integrity, in authenticity, building something will never last. The foundational piece of humanity needs to have key components. And so for me, that is what that wisdom piece means.
Well, we were talking offline about mentors. So do you think that you hope that when people come to your event, maybe you're with someone and they become your mentor, you meet them or you've connected now and then you've got this wisdom that you wouldn't have had if you didn't show up?
That's exactly it. And that's the thing. These speakers that are coming in, first of all, we're getting a bunch of new eyeballs on them, which is huge because we're creating a space for them to be seen and heard. And it gives an opportunity. We all connect with different individuals. So what works for me
might not work for me.
Exactly. So this is really an important piece of having a variety of speakers that can offer a variety of topics to connect with individuals. We talked about this too, is like, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
No.
I always want to be learning and growing. That doesn't mean I don't want to be a mentor. I do enjoy being a mentor and helping others and coaching, etc. However, I too have my mentor, my coaches in different areas of my life. That's why there's different kinds of mentors and coaches out there. That's my insight on that.
Well, it's also learning from each other's mistakes almost. Or, you know, you're like, nope, I've done that. You don't want to go down that road again.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that when we are in action and in motion of growth and learning and developing, what also the other flip side of that, what works for me may not actually work for you. I can give you pieces or you can give me pieces and some of that might work, but some of that might not. So there's always that flip side. And yes, it's important to have resources, but also to have your own experience. So that's really important.
So at these events, you're looking for these experts who have wisdom to speak at them, teach them about different topics. So I know we have a September event. We're trying to tell everyone to hold the date.
Yes, September 25th, hold the date. Our next event is at Kelowna Body Bar.
Oh.
Yes. And so big shout out to Christelle because she's an exceptional human up to great things.
Amazing.
In our community. And so we're doing the event there. She's got a beautiful event space. And we've been chatting about, and also the speakers, which that I'm not going to announce today, of really nurturing our community and this specific topic, which will also be announced. I feel socially responsible. She feels socially responsible. Listen, fluffy, fun things are great.
Yes.
And we will have fun aspects. Yeah. We definitely want those deeper, meaningful connections. And we really want to wrap our arms to help out our community because even if it's not for someone in the room, that information, that download of knowledge might be for someone they know. And that's a powerful piece. I see that often happening is like, I knew why I came here tonight. Yeah. You know, I needed this for me in this area, or my sister or my brother or whoever it might be. And so now a new connection has been made in an area that they perhaps may have not had access to sooner.
Right. Okay, so September 25th, hold the date.
Hold the date.
Let's move on to the second word.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's talk about wealth.
Let's talk about wealth. So here's the thing is that sometimes I find that there is shame that's built around making money, losing money, right? Like, let's get real and honest about conversations because I think that a lot of times there's a misconception of like, hey, like for you to be this or show up as this, you need this.
This amount of money.
You need this amount of money. And the thing is that anyone that has gained success in that wealth area has had probably countless failures along the way. And we'll share that with people. So the wealth piece is an important one. The financial literacy is a big one. I'm sharing about this quite a bit is because I have gone to the top.
Yeah.
And also was not taught how to make it sustainable. Yeah. And had to come back down. And then again, and still didn't have pieces of that financial literacy. So I'll be the first person to admit right here that I know what it's like to go through the ebbs and flows. Yeah. And there's no one out there in business today that hasn't. It's just real. Yeah. The thing is that you got to take what you learn and then you have to rebuild if you so choose. So really incorporating the wealth piece was important because I know what the struggle has been like. I want to be able to bring experts in to share, hey, this is what you do. This is how you sustain, right? Especially in this economical
I was just going to say, I feel like more than ever, we have to talk about wealth. And
we do. There's no shame in making money, number one. Number two, I think a lot of times ego gets involved of like, but people see me this way. And like people are going to respect you more when you are relatable.
Yeah. And authentic.
And authentic, like 100%. And integral, right? Taking that respectful high road, I think was one of the words we used when there's, tension or nonsense going on. But that wealth piece is so, so, so important because we are also responsible for our present and future human beings that will be leading this country. Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah. That starts with us and how we show up and what we offer and what we can give. So I'm very passionate about this topic. Yes.
Well, your wisdom is showing.
The wisdom, yes.
Because you said you're at the top and you went back down.
Yes. And I wasn't, that sustainability.
You weren't taught, you didn't have someone to show you.
No, and no matter how good your math is. Yeah. Right? No matter how good your math is, there are other elements that will come in. So really giving that gift to individuals that are coming to these events and showing them and also preparing them. Like, listen, you can put in all these key components and it doesn't mean there's not going to be twists or turns. Yeah. And I think the more people realize that impact will come, whether it's positive or whether it's to learn a lesson.
Right.
Like, let's be prepared for that. Let's gain, because wealth is not just financial either. Wealth is,
I know.
right?
I don't just think money.
Neither do I. And I love that word.
But I think lots of people do think.
They do.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a piece of the branding name, and it's in all areas. And to have access, listen, when you're at a low vibration because finances are really tough and tight, it does affect
everything else.
It does. Your emotional, your physical, if you're spiritual, it affects all of it. It's like, how do we navigate out of this to move forward, to go and elevate?
Well, I just even think of like kids, like they don't teach you finances really in school. Like I think it even goes like, here we are, adults in business needing to talk about this, but really just even as individuals, I think it's super important to talk about. And
it is. And I wish, like, I know in our household, like our kids, our youngest 17 and 19, these two have been investing for a while because we as parents came together to teach them the importance of money. And I remember getting a phone call from school saying that our youngest was not in class. So I'm like, hey, where are you? He's like, I'm meeting my financial planner. And I'm like, I got to respect that, but also you need to be accountable for showing up to school.
Yeah. But no, they really do need to start teaching that.
They do.
Because I feel like everyone has their journey through money. And if you don't have someone who's mentoring you or giving you that wisdom, then you're
kind of...
It's like a bad habit.
You're really kind of jumping through the hoops. And listen, and I've done it, clearly. That's why I'm sharing this. Is so if I can give humans that knowledge, people that knowledge to help them, it's possible to look at things in a very different way and grow and elevate in whatever way you want to from the different offerings of human beings that we have coming to these events and sharing their wisdom.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. And the last one is well-being.
Yes.
So what does that mean to you, do you think?
That's a big one. When I started my entrepreneur journey in 2020, like full tilt, I had built myself, my brand as Anita, around well-being. And that was the company that I was a part of growing my business in, really as a contractor. And for me, that has everything to do with how you're getting nurtured on a mental level, how you're getting nurtured on a physical level, on a spiritual level. There's so many pieces to well-being. It's not just about like, when people think about it, typically, it's a bubble bath, the face mask, going to yoga,
eating right,
and
working out.
Those are the small rocks of what actually well-being is. Yeah. It's a very, 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 very small rocks in it. Those are pieces. It's for me, and what we're sharing in these events is the well-being of how to really nurture self. How to take care and dig. We talked about this too. I was digging with a shovel for a while going into the growth, but now it's like digging deeper with the backhoe. And really understanding the root of things and how to elevate and grow. And to just have that, even when you brought up well-being, it was just like, I can breathe in all areas of my life. Again, all of it's intertwined.
Well, I think you really have to focus on yourself, and you can't be good to your friends, your coworkers, anyone, if you're not taking care of yourself. And like you said, it's not just in what you eat and how much you work out. You have to mentally work on it every day. We were just talking offline. Anita starts her day with an intention. I'm all about affirmations, saying thank you. And sometimes there's days where it's hard.
It is, and it's the affirmations and the gratitude, like, and we mentioned this, is like when I start that day, I start it with, okay, what do I need to focus on the gratitude in the area of my life? Because we can be like, hey, I'm thankful that my kid didn't leave his stuff at the front door. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. Those basic ones. When I'm sensing there is something nudging me in life that's feeling sticky.
Good word.
To me, it's like, that's what I need to focus on the gratitude in first and foremost before I set any intention.
Yep.
So it's really looking deep into what is an area in my life right now that I need to fertilize and water. Get the gratitude in for that, and then set the intention from there.
And sometimes you go backwards.
Yes, you do. For different reasons. That's a whole other topic.
Sometimes you just go backwards.
Yes.
Okay, so of these events, are you trying to always have a little touch of all three at the same time? Or are you really trying to focus on one at a time? Or do you think you'll always have a little bit of a well-being side to it? And that's like, whatever, the face masks, like the small little goodie stuff that you can give to people, or the affirmations, or...
Absolutely. So typically, I build my events intuitively. So it's not necessarily, hey, I'm going to focus on these three pillars. It's like, what is being pulled into my universe to feel that I need to share with the community? What are the callings that I'm...
What's your wisdom?
Yes. What are people talking about? What is on people's hearts and minds right now that they need support in? And so that's how I build the events.
Okay.
Yes. It's not necessarily, hey, I need this aspect, like those three aspects, because as we have been talking, we have figured out that they all intertwine. So they all really resonate with one another. So I just really intuitively go in the direction that I'm feeling pulled towards.
That's cool.
Yes.
So literally influenced by your community.
100%. And that is a gift, is like really being, when you have those deep connections to community and you're listening, not talking all the time. Because I see this a lot of like, I think there's more value in opening. This is why we have 2 ears and one mouth. Is like really intentionally listening to what people have to say, because you always find a need. Like I remember that when I started my business in 2020, it was like in some of the trainings learning that, hey, you have to listen, because every time you listen in any conversation you're having with anyone, I'm not just talking in business, I'm talking in life in general, with any human in your life, there is always a need that is being spoken. And so listening to that is really important.
That would be a cool event to just do on listening.
That might be. That just might be.
Because I like, it sounds silly, but you have little kids. I don't have kids, but I have a nephew and stuff. And when you're little, we really focus on, nope, you need to listen. Like, but somewhere in the...
I love that.
On the way, adults kind of, I, or closed ears, or...
Totally. Yeah. I'm laughing because I get it now. Like, I mean, obviously it landed before, but you're just bringing this up and it's resonating again, of like, the importance is that we have to practice what we preach. It's really important. I know I'm even practicing. My husband and I were talking about this. He's like, I don't think you realize when I'm done saying something. And I'm like, can you just say period at the end? It's like, so I know, because when I hear the pause, I think he's
time done. And you can talk.
I think it's time for me to contribute.
No.
And so, and I can joke about this because that's, we always have to learn. Even if we're really good in practicing in one area, there's another area in our life where we sometimes need that growth.
To keep working at it. But 100%. I just think also we are in a society that you're talking and you're usually on your phone or you're, you know, and people actually are really not listening even more than ever, I think, because we're so stuck on devices that we sometimes lose that connection or you lose that wisdom or something that, but yeah, anyways, I just was thinking, I'm like, there's got to be someone out there that does like workshops of like listening.
That is, now I see, now I'm listening and
Yeah.
I'm like, I will build that. That sounds incredible.
Because I think it would help your relationships.
Yeah, all of them,
All
right?
of them. Yeah.
Because I can be so intentional in listening to other things. And that's the thing. We always feel safest with our loved ones, right?
Yep. Like
so it's great learning.
Yes. Okay. So one more time, when's the event?
So the next Kelowna Wisdom, Wealth, Wellbeing event is September 25th. To find out if there's an event near you, and we are growing across Canada into the U.S.
So
there's
exciting.
some international branches coming as well. You can go to the wisdomwealthwellbeing.ca website. I would love to connect with you there.
Also, we mentioned last time, but you can also message Anita on Instagram.
Yes,
if you've got, you said an amazing human out there. If someone's listening and hears we need a good person to teach us how to listen, please connect with Anita. And I hope that, are we going to see each other again before the event? Maybe not, but make sure you just are always going and checking because you're just going to continue to evolve.
We're going to continue to evolve together. So Instagram, Wisdom, Wealth, Wellbeing, or Anita Best Life.
Amazing. Okay, Anita, thanks again for your wisdom.
A pleasure. Thank you so much.